Hey guys, welcome back. Now, we've mentioned before how important planning is for a project, but no amount of planning will keep changes from happening once you begin work. But keep in mind, that is okay. In fact, change is expected because projects and the way you manage them should be flexible enough in case a better idea, better information, or a better technique comes along to help you produce a superior product, service, or outcome. So let's talk about how to integrate change into your project. Now, since you know you might get changes, create a way for people to submit them. Well, it could involve building a form where people request new features or updates, like for an app or platform, or maybe you dedicate an email address like requests@yourcompany.com so that your customers can email ideas about new styles and colors they want for the shoes you make, let's say. If you don't create a system, you may end up with requests going all over the place and people getting angry when you can't find them, thinking they've been ignored, and so on and so on. The next part of your process should be evaluating change requests. Essentially, you need to screen these ideas and then dig into the ones that are worth taking into consideration. Usually it involves asking a series of questions. Does this change provide a significant benefit for our users? What do they get out of this idea? Whether you're building an app, shoes, or a new kind of peanut butter, new ideas could range from completely useless to perfectly inspired. It could also help to figure out why the idea was suggested in the first place. Might solve a problem that you have a better solution for. Another question would be, how would this change impact our project? How much more work, time, cost, and other resources will be needed to make it happen? Could it be combined easily with an existing task, or would it require a whole lot of planning to work? Now, in many cases, it's a big help to discuss change requests with teams so they're aware of the idea and can weigh in if necessary. The people who would do the work to integrate the change will no doubt have something to say about it, but try to make sure they don't reject it simply because it would be more work. Consider the benefits for the customer as well as your team. Completing the new task now could save time and trouble down the road when it could be too late or too costly. It's also important to know who the request came from. Treat customer requests respectfully and thank them for their interest. But if the request came from the CEO or another decision maker, don't really feel like you're forced to accept their idea simply because of their position. Evaluate their idea thoroughly as you would any other idea. If it looks like a bad idea, well, then appeal to their interests and emphasize the negative effects it may have on resources and especially cost and time. It's not easy to deal with requests of this type, but do your best to manage the request as well as your relationship with the decision maker. So if you decide to reject any request, you might also have to provide an explanation. If you're contacting a customer, thank them for their interest and their idea, and maybe let them know their idea will be considered for the future. Internally, be transparent about why requests are rejected. As a project manager, it's your responsibility to maintain open and honest communication. Now, if you accept any change, you'll need to formally add the change to your plans. So if you have a detailed work plan with information about each task, add the new task to the mix. Find the most appropriate spot for it and assign the right people and resources. Keep track of all change requests, who requested them, and if they were accepted or rejected. This will be important to refer to at the end of the project when evaluating overall performance. If your team was 2 weeks late delivering your project, but changes caused 3 extra weeks of work, your team should not be held responsible for said lateness. Changes can serve as important updates for projects, but it's important to note that project teams may feel annoyed or frustrated by them. Find a way to integrate changes at a reasonable pace for the team so they're not inundated with constant updates to their work. Consider grouping multiple changes together, like a series of changes that are related to one part of a project, rather than changes that affect multiple parts. Now, in the next lecture, we'll talk more about leading your project team, especially when they need some extra motivation. See you then.